So today we're working on a refinement for headstand. My name's Kent, this is Brendan. And the first thing we're going to do is just have Brendan move into a headstand. So he'll come down on his knees and he'll measure off, pivot on the elbows. Then he'll place the back of his head, crown of the head on the floor, pretty central. Comes up, and he'll lift one leg and then the other. There's a lot of foundation work as well as gut work here. So he's using his core. And then he's just going to come down as light as he went up. One leg, and then the other leg, and he'll rest back into child's pose. Good. So in order to get to that point, there's a couple of preliminary movements, preparatory poses, that we want to talk about. The first one being just measuring off for a tripod base. So I'm going to have Brendan come down, and he'll just measure off. And generally the first knuckle around the elbow is a great place to start. That's going to help him stack the joints, and the palms come together and he can interlace his fingers. This is joint stacking, then he gets the back of the head to press into his hands. Now from here, I just want to point out a couple of things. There is the depression or the lifting of the shoulder blades towards the hips. This is important. And the protraction is important too. That means we're separating the shoulder blades and we're giving a little puff in between the shoulder blades here. So you can see he's got that done really well. The next thing you want to do is try to wrap the armpits or wrap the shoulder blades towards the front of the body to engage the serratus anterior muscles. This is very important as well. And then I'm going to have Brendan lift his head for just a moment. His forearms will stay on the floor. But if I grab his forearms and I tell him not to let me pull up, that's going to really anchor him and allow the shoulder heads to move back and for him to anchor the shoulder blades against the back of the rib cage. Then he'll place his head once more. Now, this is dolphin preparation, but his head's on the floor. And I'll show you dolphin in just a moment. He walks his knees back a couple of inches, tucks the toes, and he lifts his knees off the floor. I'm going to have him bend the knees slightly so he can take the sit bones back and up. So this is more like dog pose. We're looking for an ascending angle from the elbows to the sit bones. And then from there he can straighten his legs. This is external rotation. We're looking for external rotation at the top of the shoulders, so the shoulders spin away from each other. And then from there, if he can keep this line of energy up, he can begin to walk his feet forward. And it's okay to bend the knees. Then one leg up, and the other leg up. And you can see with the knees together, Brendan is hugging the midline by tweezing his knees and his inner thighs together. Coming up slow with the core gives him a lot of authority. And then of course, hips and shoulders stacked up. And this is really what inversions are all about. It doesn't matter if it's headstand, shoulder stand, arm balances, handstand. This is what we're looking for, hips over the shoulders. There's not a lot of lordotic curve. He has a natural curve in his back. When he comes down, he'll come down with the same grace, one leg or knees together. It doesn't really matter. But he's using his core. The foundation is firm. You can see that he's not crimping or shortening his neck. When you come down, you want to move into child's pose and actually release completely. The palms can be face up, face down, child's pose. Notice how he's completely relaxing the neck and the shoulders. Good. Now to release the neck, he can simply place his hands underneath his shoulders and press his forehead down. Come up on the knees a little bit, walk your knees back slightly. Good. If he presses his forehead straight down, so lift the chin a little bit. He presses the forehead straight down and just draws the hips back a little bit. That's going to give him, and you can see how that gives his neck a little bit of traction, and that will help release the neck muscles. So these are all key things to do when you're working through a headstand. Find your foundation, move fluidly, consistently with your breath, and then unwind and give your neck a release.